Hi, welcome to Adventures in Being Foreign. Today's video is going to be about relationships with an emphasis on engagement. So a friend of mine recently got engaged and she was like, "Hey girl, hi." Hey Twee, do you have some tips? Can you give us some advice what we should pay attention to in this season, in this time, in this preparation for marriage? So then, so that's why this video has an emphasis on engagement. However, if you're married or if you're on this other side of the spectrum and you're single, it doesn't mean that there's nothing for you. If you're also in between and you're courting or dating, there's definitely something for you to consider, something to learn, something to reflect on. So my husband and I came up with 7 tips that I think are really important things to consider in the season of engagement, in the season of before I do. And the very first thing is that engagement does not equal to marriage. So a lot of times when people are engaged, they're, yay! Everything is fabulous, everything is sunny, everything is good, there's so much joy, there's so much excitement, and so the guard comes down. So it's important to put your guard up, to have your eyes wide open, to remember your deal breakers, to remember your boundaries, to remember that you're still accountable, and also to watch out for alarm signals. You don't want to push them under the carpet and then later on when you're married, you're like, well, actually, I saw this issue when we were engaged, but I just didn't want to talk about it. You are free to walk away if there's really something that the other person is doing that you do not agree with. However, just because you have your guard up doesn't mean that you should not have fun. So number 2 is have fun. Enjoy each other, spend time together, enjoy the process, enjoy the season, hang out together, hang out with friends, go out for a walk. Be careful, of course, how you hang out, but do enjoy the time, enjoy the season. Of course, you're thinking about how you're going to pay for everything, who you're going to invite to the wedding and all that stuff, but enjoy the season because in case you forgot, once you're married, you can't go back. So do enjoy this time for what it is. And so enjoy it for sure to the fullest. You guys should have fun. Apart from having your guard up and having fun, you should also talk about money. Some divorces actually occur due to money issues, and therefore it's important that you learn what type of person you are when it comes to money. Are you more of a spender? Are you a saver? Do you know how to budget? What are your financial goals? How are you? What do you see yourself investing in? All those things. So talk about money, how you yourself interact with money. And also talk about what you're going to do when you're married together. Are you going to have a shared account, or are you going to have split accounts and a shared account where each one puts money into? My husband and I have a shared account and we tried it for a year now. It works for us. You can try it as well. We recommend it. It might suit your personalities for sure. For us, it works. And what the advantage with Sin is that you really have a better oversight over where your money is going. You have a better buying power. You have better saving power as well. Of course, at times people might think that when we have a shared account, then it's not really my money. It's like I'm working hard for this money and then it's not mine. But you do have that sense of accountability, and just because you have a shared account, it doesn't mean that you don't own the money. You have ownership as well. You just need to talk about how you're spending money, and you need to allow each other for things that you like to spend money on. You can still say that, well, this year I would like to have a certain amount for shopping, for hanging out with my girls, for going out for dinners, for my hair. I don't know what, but it just allows you to talk about money and to have a better oversight over your money as well. Apart from money, it's very important that you learn how to resolve conflict. So a lot of times what happens is that when two things come too close together, there's a lot of friction. So you have a lot of conflicts, you have challenges, you have crises. So be expectant, be prepared. You have to understand how you deal with conflicts. Are you more the person who's always open to talk about things? Are you more the person who needs time? So you focus on something else and then you come back to the issue. I'm more the person who needs time. So oftentimes I give myself some time, but the issue sometimes in that is that it allows things to fester. And therefore it's very important that you do give yourself a time limit. You say that for 1 hour I'll just go for a walk and then we can talk about things, or I'll go for a walk for an hour and then another time I'll think about the issue and then we can talk about it. So it's important to have those time limits so you don't give the enemy a foothold, so you don't become bitter, so you don't become unforgiving. So learn how you deal with conflicts yourself. Also focus on the problem and not the person. Of course, sometimes there's things that the other person does or says that do not sit well with you. It's important as well to confront them in love and tell them what the issue is so they become aware of it and so that they can also change. So do focus on the issue and not the person. Focus on the problem, not the person. You guys are a team. Come to the root cause, come to understanding why this happened, and then avoid it in the future. It's also very important to pray. Pray before the conflict. Prevention is better than cure. Pray after the conflict as well, that it will not happen again. So do learn to pray, do learn how you deal with conflicts. Be prepared. A battle prepared for is a battle half won. So number 5 is then that you should spend time with married couples, with kids or without kids. Read books on marriage as well. We highly recommend that you get some real life experiences on how marriage is really like. Call some people up, be like, hey, can we hang out with you guys? When do you have time? Then you can ask them questions and also just learn from their experiences as well. There's 2 books that we'd like to recommend when it comes to reading on marriage. There is The Meaning of Marriage from Timothy Keller and Kathy Keller. This is really an A to Z on marriage. It gives you arguments for certain philosophies such as cohabitation is just the same as marriage, marriage is a paper, you know the deal. So I highly recommend you read this book if you are single, married, engaged. It's really a book for everyone. They even said that in themselves. And then the other book is The 5 Love Languages. So the 5 love languages teaches you how to express love in a way that the other person can receive it. A lot of times we get used to just saying I love you, but this really gives you ideas of how you can really express love, maybe by buying gifts for the person because their love language is gifts, or spending time with them, planning dates, I don't know, just having an idea or having multiple ways to really express your love for the other person. So we recommend definitely that you get yourself some books and you also call up some couples. Call up some married couples to hang out with for sure. The 6th tip that we have for you is that you should pray together and pray for each other. It's very important that you committing yourself to prayer for one another and prayer together. It's also important that you encourage each other in the faith. You can send a passage that maybe has spoken to you in a deep way, or a song that has really just given you goosebumps. There's something contagious about being encouraged by someone else's encouragement. However, here I would also like to point out that oftentimes we as Christian women might think that because the guy is the head, he always has to take the initiative when it comes to praying together, or when it comes to reading the words together, or whatever spiritual thing that he always has to be like, let's do this, let's do that. So we're always waiting. I just wanted to emphasize. So you wait and then you become frustrated because you're like, he never does this, he doesn't do this and that and that. So it's very important that you also take the initiative. Suggest that you guys go to a concert, suggest that you guys go to a prayer meeting. I don't know, just suggest something also. You don't have to wait. And the last tip that we have is that you should talk about family and upbringing. A lot of times we grow up in 2 different environments. The other person may have come from a home where the mom was a stay-at-home mom. Her main activity was really raising the children and taking care of the household duties. Or you're coming from a family where your mom did both. She worked full-time and also took care of the household duties. So it's really important that you see eye to eye, and then you say, like, what can we take from this and that, and how can we combine that into something that's really suitable for us? Because otherwise you get into you get into certain expectations on the other person, and then it becomes a shock, you know. Maybe you're coming from a family where your mom was a stay-at-home mom, and then the other person is coming from the other sort of world, and therefore it'll be a shock to the wife. She'll be like, hey, that was not my idea. So do talk about family, talk about upbringing, and just have certain expectations as well about having guests over. How was it like to have guests at your house? How were guests treated like? Because these things are also cultural, they're also family dependent. So have these conversations. How do you want to set up your family? How do you want to bring up your children? So I hope you liked to watch this video. I hope you learned something. I believe you learned something. Do comment below if there's something new that you learned, or something that you'd like to add to whatever I said. Thank you so much for your comments from the other video. I really appreciate it. They got us into conversations as well. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like the Facebook page, to follow me on Instagram. And I hope that you're having an amazing 2020 already. I'm wishing you a happy new year. And I'm praying that the Lord will continue to do amazing things in your life.